All right, are we good? Are we good? Checking my own, making sure. Sure. We are good. So you might hear me say sure, sure, sure. How's it going, everybody who's out there hanging out? I thought I would do, since our last one, do a bit of a live edit and hang out doing the final Tezuka video, and you guys kind of see how it's made. There is a cut here already because I actually did start working on it and then I decided to go live. So, but I don't have anything downloaded, so I'll kind of take you from step one to the end, and hopefully, if anybody shows up and has any questions, I could field those and answer that. So, step one of making a video is to find all of the manga that you read this week. This week we did Tento, then we did Scrap Circus, then we did Icarus Rising. All very good. Icarus Rising, fantastic. Scrap Circus, very good. And then Tento was a nice little spin on the Pokemon genre. And then so I like to switch over to Firefox here because they have a control shift S. So you can just screenshot everything that's on the screen, and I leave it on a 2-page spread. That way I can actually get the full 2 pages as well. And then I basically just click through and I save everything. So we already read this and we recorded this on Monday night. So now I just go back through, and sometimes you hit Control S and it wants to save the actual like link to the page, which is not what you want to do. So just Control Shift S, and then you'll see about halfway through when I get here is Medibang tries to feed me an ad, which is lovely. And yep, right here. So I got to click out of that. Sometimes that'll mess up your Control Shift S as you're zooming through. I did really like Scrap Circus. I thought Scrap Circus was very good. I like the art style. I thought the art style was fantastic, as you will hear us say in the video. And then you'll also see that we stumble over our words quite a bit, and we cut a few things. So Scrap Circus is about done. So there's the last 2 pages of Scrap Circus. And then what I do from there on is I open up my downloads folder, and I go over to today's stuff. And here's all of today's stuff. This is some stuff I was working on, the Otaku Podcast thumbnail. And there's where I save all that stuff in the Adobe Premiere in my downloads folder, which is pretty dumb. But then I just unclick it, and I'm going to cut it. I'm going to put it into its own folder, so I have all of that available. So Scrap Circus, oops. And that way it's a nice little home. Nobody will get lost. Okay. Then we just do that for the next 2. Move on to Tento. Really like the cover of Tento. I like the color, even though I feel like there was a bit of debate about halfway through, wondering if Tento was, or the cover was supposed to be in color. So who knows? Just click through and get all of them here. Once again, art style on Tento is fucking good too. Really like Tento. Although we did kind of unfairly meme on it in the video about being very close to Pokemon. But you know, you'll see. You'll see when we get there. Okay. And that's the ad thing that fucks up my mojo. My Control Shift S. This is a little bit of a unique one because this is really a 2-page spread, but they turned it into like a 1-page thing. So really their thing is 55 pages. So pretty smart on them, but it also makes it not as big. The one thing I do like about this media player or this manga reader much more than the actual Shonen Jump official one is you can do the this. I don't know why it's scrolling so slow. But normally it zooms in and you can scroll down very easily. And it's nice to read it like that. Now I don't know if I actually saved the screenshot already. I did. Next page. Okay, and that is Tento done. Same thing. I'm just going to put it in its own folder. And then we'll move on to the last one, which is Icarus Rising, which was the most viewed out of all of the manga on Medibang, which is crazy. I think it had 2 million views is what it had when I checked the other day, actually, which is wild. Okay, and on to Icarus Rising. Once again, another one where the art style is fucking crazy. People are, man, so skilled. So good. Okay. It wouldn't let me go past this first page for some reason. There we go. you know, for having the main character named Icarus, they didn't do any sort of fly too close to the sun thing, but I feel like that's inevitable. If you name your main character Icarus, that's kind of what you're going for. That's the main moral of the story. Dude, just looking at it again is fire. Oh my god. Such good art style. A lot of times when I'm doing this too, on the second go through, like we read all of them once. If the one you're doing, you probably read it a couple of times if you're the one having to summarize it. So a lot of the times on when I go through and get the pictures, I see a lot of stuff that we didn't notice in the first go, which is always kind of a little bit disappointing. But man, look at this. That's beautiful. Got hose on hose. Just watching that Lil Nas X holiday performance he did for Amazon, and now it's just completely actually stuck in my head. So I would normally have music playing here, but I'm not going to get copyright strike, so do not worry. I will just hum music for the rest of it. And I think that's the last of the page. Okay, cool. So now we have all of them, and then I just got to put Icarus Rising in its own folder, and then we can start on the actual edit. So let's cut that. New folder. Icarus Rising. Its destination already contains a folder called Icarus Rising. I misnamed one. That's supposed to be Tento. Okay. Tento. Icarus Rising. Okay. Let's just drag it over there. Cool. And then I like to have the thumbnails available, and then I go new, or I sort by date, because when it Firefox is saving the pictures, sometimes it gets fucked up on the names, and then it won't sort by name in terms of when you did it, because it numbers it, so 21, 22, 2019, but then it gets all fucked up for some reason. So just sort by date. It'll do it in the order which you take the pictures, and that should be the same order of the pages, hopefully. Okay, so we're done with Firefox. Don't need that anymore. Now we can go back to actual Premiere. So what you won't see on my second monitor is normally I will have one of them open. Like I know the first one to go is Scrap Circus. And then I'll also have the actual pages. So my setup will generally be like this on the other monitor. And then I'll just look back and forth and flick through. So as they're talking, I'll click over and see what I want to talk about. Because a lot of times it gets jumped all over the place. So it's a little hard to follow along with that. But we'll see if I can get this to go. 1 second here. Okay. So you'll see the first part here is us just talking. We're talking about laying lab-grown diamonds, because I was showing Jose the video about big boy diamonds. Chen and Muhammad Ali. Okay, so we started there. We're not picking the official winner, but we're picking the official. All right, that's us giving the warning that we're not actually Tezuka. Well, there we go. Okay. So then I just zoom in there. We're going to cut that, do that. That pulls all the front, and then we should be good to go. What is up? Well, and then a little trade secret. We always have our Instagram and our Twitter on the thing. It's actually just our end screen that I made into a PNG. So our end screen is a black screen, and it literally says, please subscribe right here. So what I do is I just put it in there. I'll just drag it down, bish, bosh, boosh, and there we go. And then I'll just drag it all the way to the end of the video. And then I create extra audio or extra video tracks, because a lot of the times there will be like 4 on the same one. So I'll just add 3, because the only time that really comes into play is when we're talking about what we're reviewing right at the beginning. Welcome back to Otaku, back for our final review of the Jump Tezuka series. You'll notice I'm a little bit louder than everybody else, so I'll probably turn myself down just a little bit. It on our own way. And we're going to end it on just unlink all the audio. Audio gain. Let's do a -3 there. See if that factors are involved. Thanks for watching ahead of time. They might be a little too low, but we'll see. We will go through all of our winners that we previously had, and then pick our winner. Just asterisk on that. We are not the Tezuka production people, so important to know. The official winner. We're picking the official winner. And all seen a lot of people in the comments kind of, oh, I can't wait to see if I won, and it worries me that they think we're picking the official winners. So I just wanted to make sure that was clear in this video. Scrap Circus by okay, so there we go. And I don't think I described what the contest is this video. So the 3 we're doing this week is going to be... Okay, so right at the start there, I try to get it right when it goes, and then I'm just going to drag the title for Scrap Circus in there, get the crop effect, drag it onto here. Before, I would previously just create a mask and just put a mask around all this. But Josh showed me the crop effect, so it works just so much better because I can just drag it like that and it looks much cleaner. And then usually I set the scale to about, I think, 90. And then I'll just drag it over to whatever side I want it on. So the first one we do is Scrap Circus. So bish bosh boosh. Scrap Circus by Pablo Diaz. Then we're going to do okay. Then we're going to do Icarus Rising, I believe is the second one we do. And then we finish with Tento. So now I just drag Icarus Rising in there. Just drag it out really long because I don't know how long it takes me to say all the names. So then we just click the crop. Boom. Boom. Try to get it as nicely lined up as possible. And we're chilling. Set it to 90. There you go. So that one's already centered. So the 960 by 540. So I just leave that one there. And then we go on to the next one. Icarus Rising by Brandon Chen and Muhammad Ali. And then we're going to move on to Tento. Okay, so back that up a little bit. Still go more. There we go. Okay, so then just grab the title for Tento and do the same thing. Tento's, it's like when you make your color, your front page color, it sticks out so much compared to all the rest of them, as you'll see. It's like the fact that Tento's in color, it just draws your eye to it. It's like, ooh, okay, I like Tento. Love that. And then I'm just going to drag it over again. And let's put it there. Should have resized it first. 90. I think that's close enough. Let's do 1500. That's too far. 1550. Cool. And then I'm going to get Scrap Circus and try to get the spacing to be exactly the same. 350? Yep, there you go. Tento by Riai. In that order. No idea if that's the actual Muhammad Ali. Okay, so then I'll probably fade him out around here. Riai. In that order. So probably right there. And then I just right-click, default transition, right-click, default transition, right-click, default transition. Let's see how that looks. This week is going to be Scrap Circus by Pablo Diaz. Then we're going to do Icarus Rising. Sweet cover. By Sweet cover. Chen and Muhammad Ali. And then we're going to move on to Tento. The color. The color. Even though I'm pretty sure it was against the rules, but the color. Muhammad Ali, as we were talking about before. So
it was his last work.
Yeah, they all, yeah. That might be trust. Why it is the #1. We come back to the Muhammad Ali joke later, so hopefully you enjoy the Muhammad Ali joke. Starting off with Scrap Circus, I'm going to take you through that one, and then we'll move in the order that I gave. Okay, so that's where we start Scrap Circus. Bish. I want to put the Tezuka banner in there, so that way people can see the judges, even though we didn't really talk about it. So I'll probably just shoehorn it in there somewhere. What did I name it as? Tezuka. I thought it was Tezuka. I'm pretty sure it's Tezuka banner. Okay, that doesn't want to work for some reason. No? No? Okay, hodl. Let me pull it up on my other screen. Yeah, it's literally called Jump Tezuka banner. It just didn't like it for some reason in that one. It is, Error. It's the last review we're doing. The contest's been done for a while, so we figured just call it. And then if another contest comes up, we'll do another one. But this is going to be the last one. Yeah, it's the last one of the Tezuka contest. Back for our final review of the Jump. I'll probably put it right there. Review of the Jump. Of the Jump Tezuka series. We picked 3, just kind of pretty much random. We each found it on. Let's maybe move it back. For our final. There you go. For our final review of the Jump Tezuka series, we picked 3, just kind of. Got it right there. We picked 3, just kind of pretty much random. We each found it on our own way, and we're gonna end it on just. Okay, I think that's good. Then we'll move on to start Scrap Circus. I might want to cut out the spacing here. Almost 100 years ago, a decade where. Nah, we'll leave that. Sometimes I like to cut out the dead space, but that's fine. Almost. Okay, then on my second monitor, I'm going to open up Scrap Circus, go back to the front, and then we'll start from there. We luckily don't need the cover again, So basically, I'm just going to go through as I'm talking, and I'm going to start clicking and dragging, and hopefully it lines up perfectly, but we'll see. Okay. Order that I gave. Almost. Okay, so that's the first line. I remember doing that. It's nice to try and edit it right after we do it, because then I can remember. Usually I go 350 scale or 330. Sometimes the size of the manga pages are different. So like 330 on this one would probably be good if it doesn't go too far over. Then we'll start it there. I click the position. That lets it know that I'm going to be making it do some sort of a motion.
Ago, a decade where after the Great War, great empires collapsed. A decade where the world faced on the biggest.
This is where I butcher the whole intro to the manga.
Where crime and poverty grew, but those dark times have just begun.
Okay, so that's the first page done there, looking at my left side. So then what I'm going to do is you can either do two things. You can either just drag this and it'll just make a straight line going straight down like that. Usually I like to just drag it and freehand it so
Almost
it looks a little natural.
Where after the Great War, great empires collapsed.
And then I just try to make sure that it matches up to the narration.
Economic crisis in history, an era where crime and poverty grew, but those dark times have just begun. So you would think it's going to be a pretty dark manga, but that's really not the case. And we get to see a...
Okay, then I cut there. Usually when I'm doing cuts, I try to look for the part where we're pretty loud, so it kind of matches with the text. So then we'll just go over to here. There's the full 2-page spread, and then I'll just drag it and try to get as much as I can. Sometimes I'll try to make it really big. That way you don't see the gray parts of it. But I don't want to cut anything out. So, like that would cut too much out. That would be the least amount cut, and I could kind of drag it if I wanted to. So I could kind of do this. We'll see if this looks any good.
Black and white 2-page spread of it's kind of like your classic mystery where you
couldn't remember the word noir here, so but Jose remembers it later.
Body with a bullet through his head.
Probably right there is when I'll have it go down. So then I'll just drag, and you can see the line, the blue line here for what motion and what angle it's going to follow. So then I'll just go back and see.
But that's really not the case. And we get to see a black and white 2-page
spread. There you go. That looks good.
It's kind of like your classic mystery where you see a woman smoking, sitting in a chair beside a body with a bullet through his head. A door opens, and that's when...
So the door opens there. Let's see what I say next.
When a military man appears and congratulates her on the job well done.
Okay, so that's kind of fast. I kind of started skipping around there really quick.
A door.
So probably right there, I'll flip over to the next page because I'm zooming through this summary. And then we'll zoom in really hardcore on the door opening. The military man enters, and then I'll do another hard cut to when it says job well done.
Door opens, and that's when a military man appears and
right there. Then I'll just make a cut because it's on the same page. Drag it down. Job well done. You see the face of the dead guy.
Appears and congratulates her on the job well done. Here we find out she's referred to the fastest shot in the entire...
And then here we find out. So we're going to go to the next one.
On the job well done. Here we...
Which I think is in the same page as well when you learn her name. So I'm going to do another cut. And there you go. Night Devil Darcy White. Which will probably zoom down as well because I think I mentioned what she talks about.
We find out she's referred to the fastest shot in the entire HUG, known as the Night Devil Darcy White. The man she just killed was suspected of forging Darcy White.
Okay, so I'm going to try and do a little bit of a drag here and see if it looks good. It might be too fast.
Referred to the fastest shot in the entire HUG, known as the Night Devil Darcy White. The man she just killed was suspected.
Okay, then I want to cut when he says the man.
The man.
There we go. So cut right there, and then I'm just going to do a hard cut because they actually explain it further down. That way, it's not all just scrolling. Top 5 other YouTubers. I used to watch a lot more YouTube when I had free time. Now I spend a lot of time doing the edits on these and for the channel. But I was a really big fan of Rooster Teeth. I really liked all of their stuff. I like RDC World 1. They crack me up. They're probably my favorite right now, like RDC World 1. Then, what else? I don't really watch Yogscast anymore. I'm going off like high school picks.
Volts of the working class.
I don't really watch too much anime YouTubers. I like Long Beach Griffin or Griffey. Prosy D is cool.
Darcy.
My two favorites right now though is RDC World 1 and then Mega 64. I like both those guys.
Class. Darcy informs the man that she wants to.
Okay, so they say Darcy, probably cut right there. It's the next page. So far, so good.
Revolts of the working class. Darcy informs the man that she wants to quit, but alas, she can't because she is of still.
So that I go down actually.
She can't
So you'll start to see when we're doing it, like I said, she can't, but then he actually explains it further down the page. So then I just got to cut, and there's a lot of text. Sometimes when it's in between the two frames, I'll try to frame it like in the middle, so that way it's not too confusing.
Still of great use to the nation, according to the man. He then gives her a quick reminder.
So there is the last one. I'm just going to hard cut again. That way it kind of cuts around and you know what you're supposed to be looking at.
He then gives her a quick reminder saying that there's no happy ending for a woman like you, so forget it, and then he sends her off to investigate the report. So forget it.
I butchered that first. Forget it. Jeez. I wonder if I might want to cut that.
So forget it, and then
so forget it.
Forget it, and then he said.
So probably right there, I'll cut, and then we talk about the Frankenstein thing up here, which is pretty sweet.
Ending for a woman like you, so forget it, and then he sends her off to investigate the reports of a Frankenstein monster in the alleys of the East Side and the genius who made it. We cut to the young boy who.
Okay, so I think here I cut out quite a bit when I say we cut to the young boy. Yes, I did. Okay. Think it's this page? Yeah. How are you going to Scamboli? Okay. I've never even heard of Scamboli before. Like I said, I don't watch too much AniTubers. The problem I have with a lot of AniTuber stuff is they talk about a lot of airing anime and like relevant things. But I'm a binge watcher, man. I wait for things to be done. So like I avoid spoilers like the plague for all this ongoing stuff. And then I'll binge watch it right at the end.
To the young boy
so because of that, I can't really keep up with a lot of AniTuber stuff.
A baseball game through a peephole. Someone ends up stepping.
Does he review just new stuff, ongoing stuff? What does Scamboli do?
Been blocking his view, so he tries to find the perfect amount of rubbish to be able to peek over the amount of rubbish to be able to peek.
So change that to another page there. In case you're ever wondering what we're doing while the reviews are going on for other people, we're just staring wildly.
Until a young boy's
Jose and Josh usually, I think, are reading along with the manga. They have it up on their other monitor. But me, I'll usually go on my phone or something because I can't click off of Discord. Otherwise, it messes up the video. Cool. So there's a good one of them.
Find the perfect amount of rubbish to be able to peek over the fence. That is
okay.
Until a young boy is walking by with some ice cream. A young boy is walking by with some ice cream, and just two random dudes
I'll
walk by behind
put it down on
well.
my phone. I'll check it out. Scamboli.
Over the fence, like, hey, watch this.
Good old Scamboli. All right, I got it saved. I'll check it out for sure.
Shit out from underneath of him.
So that's where they kick the shit out from underneath of him, and then causes him to fall on the ice cream.
Kick the shit out from underneath of him, cause him to fall onto the other kid, ruining that kid's ice cream.
So I wonder if I want to switch on kick.
Like, hey, watch this. Kick.
See, I'll probably cut there to the other page. Oh, really? I feel like a lot of people are very protective over
Watch this.
Evangelion.
Kick the shit out
But
from underneath
I
him,
like Evangelion, but I
cause
also
him to
like
fall
seeing
on the
people
other
shit
side
on
and
it.
ruin
So
that kid's ice cream. We get a Tom and Jerry.
okay, so sometimes it doesn't like you dragging it. There it goes. I think I was just lagging.
We get a Tom and Jerry style chase begin between the two young boys until eventually our MC bumps it.
Okay, so I want to get the chase. So I kind of skip over a lot. There's a long chase here. I probably cut out a whole 2-3 pages.
We get a Tom and Jerry style chase.
So right when I say chase, I'll probably.
chase.
It's right there. Let's cut to a different page. I want to get this part where he pretends to be a girl, because that part was pretty funny.
Tom and Jerry style chase begin between the two young boys until.
And then I'll probably cut right there. I don't think it happens on this page. It does not. Okay, so I think that should be good. So
the two young boys until eventually our MC bumps into the back of a lady.
So I'll probably drag. I'll put motion on this one, and I'll drag it so you can see the bottom panel. So you can see that it is him bumping into the back of someone. See how that looks.
Until eventually our MC bumps
Yeah, there you
into the
go.
back of a lady.
And then when I start talking again, I'll change it. I didn't need to get rid of that because it's the same one. Sure thing, sure thing.
This lady turns around and we see it's dark.
So I'll just do a quick one of her eyes there and then go up to where we actually see it is Darcy. All right, let's see how that looks. I'm worried about doing too quick a cut
This lady turns
sometimes
around
because
and we
then
see
it's not going to make
Darcy White,
sense. I
who-
feel like it's from my point of view as someone who's read it, it makes sense to me when I do it like this.
Turns around and we see it's Darcy
But I
White,
worry about it not
who,
making sense to people
asks the
watching.
other boy, what's his problem? And it scares him off. She talks.
Okay, then she talks. I think I go right to here. I might need to listen to it first and see.
She talks to our MC saying she's looking for a mechanic. And this is where we get the introduction of our MC, John.
Okay, so yeah, this is right. So just looking
And
for a mechanic.
And this is where we get the
Then I'll right where I say introduction, I'll cut over to the next page because I think it's just a big one on the next page of the introduction. Boom, John Mills, Dunzo.
where we get the introduction of our MC, John Mills, the best mechanic in the entire street. He says his gratitude for her help. Her repair will be completely free. Darcy says she's having car problems.
Okay, so I think the car problems part is on a whole different place. The problem is with my car. So I'm going to probably zoom in a ton on that one since it's so small. Can I get it right in the middle? I think that's close enough. Let's try that.
Gratitude for her help. Her repair will be completely free. Darcy says she's having car problems, and then off they go to John's workshop. Upon arrival, an old man and his grandchild.
So maybe I'll do a drag
Off
across
they
the
go
side.
to John's workshop.
It just feels too static for too long a little bit on this one. So I'm going to try and see what it looks like with a little bit of motion and then try to end it before. So it'll kind of be like them walking, you know?
Darcy says she's having car problems, and then off they go to John's workshop.
So right there is where I want to change. So I can actually make that a little bit longer and not make that as quick, which would be good. Drag that there and
Having
go.
car problems, and then off they go to John's workshop.
Cool. Then we go to the next page. Actually, the same page. I thought I would have been moving on to the next one because his workshop is in the top left. So zoom in on that. There we go. I do think I just changed straight to the old man
Upon
picture
arrival,
though.
an old man and his
Yeah,
grandchild show
I do.
up, and he's kind of telling his reality show sob story
Okay.
immediately. He worked for the city for years. The factory shut down.
So I skip a lot there because I actually don't use any of this other page. So I would like to show the factory though.
John's workshop. Upon arrival, and off they go to John.
So maybe right there, maybe I will just keep it static on this one, and then we'll cut to the picture of his workshop. So let's try that.
And then off they go.
Oops, now it's not lined up correctly because of the motion. There we go.
3. Darcy says she's having car problems, and then off they go to John's workshop. Upon arrival,
It's probably right there. I want to leave enough space to actually see the workshop before switching over to the old man. The old man stuff is not super important to the story. It's kind of like just showing that our MC is a good guy. So I left it in, you know. It's constructive.
upon arrival, an old man and his grandchild show up, and he's kind of telling his
So when we talk about the reality story, there we go. We'll go down to here. And then as I go to explain it, you can read it along
sob story
as
immediately.
well.
He worked for the city for years. The factory shut down. He couldn't find a new job. He got lots of debt, but luckily
So 2 good men, that's right there. No problem.
good men, out of the greatness of their heart, bought the few things that he actually had, and now he has a little bit of money. So now all he wants to do is to repair his old
Okay, so I think when I say and now is
hat,
when it goes to the
and
next
now he has
panel.
a little bit of money. So now
Cut that, drag up top. All I have is an old tractor. All I want to do is live a simple childhood, and that should be correct.
he has a little bit of money. So now all he wants to do
So
is
I've
to
always
repair
thought on these static ones, I've watched some of like the comic explained or like variant comics where they're doing kind of the same thing for regular comics. They don't seem to really have stuff not in motion most of the time. So they'll like do like a zooming pan as they're talking about it. I don't know if that's
So
to get
now all he
around
wants to do is to
people
repair his old
like
tractor
them
and
being
go back
sued by
to his
DC
simple
or
childhood
Marvel.
life and eat what he planned.
But I kind of like the simple, here's the icon, or here's the simple frame, and there you
Pulls
go.
out a wad of cash and asks Mills to please fix his tractor. Darcy immediately
Okay, so then we move on to Darcy. So I'm going to cut right where I say Darcy, so that way when I say Darcy, it goes Darcy. So I wonder if I want to, when he holds out a wad of cash is when I want to change it. Because this is a
Holds out a wad of
long
cash.
stand. So probably maybe right there. Let's do that. Let's see how that looks.
He then holds out a wad of cash and asks Mills.
Because
to please
Darcy
fix
says
his
more stuff
tractor.
down here.
Darcy immediately recognizes that the money the man is offering is false.
So then this one I say but. We'll just go down to the last one. Okay, so let's try that.
That the money the man is offering is false, but Mills just instantly agrees. That is under one condition, and he asks
That might be too little of a cut. I might do just a motion there.
Darcy
Because you
immediately
kinda
recognizes
see
that the
half of
money
it
the man is
already.
offering is false, but Mills just instantly agrees. That is under one.
Oops, I don't know what I just did there. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm just going to do a motion on that one. So let's go to the front. So there, they know that it's false.
Under one.
So then I say condition there. So let's scroll all the way down. I try to make it so if I'm doing a motion, it doesn't end on like while it's still in motion because I feel that's a little disorienting. This is messing up. Sorry, guys.
Please fix his tractor.
It's this one I want to do. There we go.
Darcy immediately recognizes that the money the man is offering is false, but Mills just instantly agrees. That is under one condition, and he asks.
Okay, so yeah, that's perfect. So then we go to the next page, and we go, he asked to get the wrench off of the thing. I'm pretty sure is what I say, and we'll move on. We're almost at the halfway point of the first manga, so, hold on to your butts.
And he asks.
Yeah, this time we are doing Scrap Circus, Icarus Rising, and Tento. Icarus Rising was the most viewed one on the whole website. When we previously did our video about reviewing the top 3, that was number 4 when we made the video. But by the time we put the video up, it had already flown to either the first or the second spot. So we did Icarus Rising. Scrap Circus is one that just got picked at random. Found it on like the 7th or 9th page, and then I just picked that one. And Jose picked Tento, which is basically kind of like a Pokemon meets Knights battle sort of thing. Don't know how he found that one, but he picked Tento. Which, surprisingly, for kind of being picked all at random, they were all very good.
Condition, and he asked the old man to just please grab tool number 11 off of the wall for him. The man agrees and goes to grab.
Okay, so right when I say grab, I'll probably switch to the scene of him going to grab it. I'm going to zoom in about 350 on that one, maybe even a little more. That way it fills up the whole screen.
For him. The man agrees and goes to grab it, but you get to see the old man start to squint, his hands are shaking, and he ends up grabbing.
Okay, so then when I say grab again, I'll cut down to the bottom. Probably same amount of zoom since it's just the little one, and then we'll keep it there.
Squint, his hands are shaking, and he ends up grabbing the wrong number tool, not knowing any better. He hands it to Mills, who says thanks, and he'll fix his tractor tomorrow, no problem.
And then when I say after, we'll cut to the next page, which is actually the same page because there's a second page on the same image. There we go. Beautiful.
Fix his tractor tomorrow, no problem. After the man leaves, Darcy questions Mills, asking that he must have also realized it, that the man had poor eyesight, and the two good men that he was talking about also knew that and bought everything from the old man using fake money. Mills.
Then we go down. When they say Mills, hey, for sure, I agree. I totally agree. I feel bad with the Tezuka contest that when we were doing it originally, there was probably like 20 pages of it. And then right at the end, like the last 3 days of the contest, it jumped like a fuck ton of pages, like a ton of entries slid in right at the end. I don't think those are going to get read. It's like, I don't think anybody's going to be going through those to check and see the ones that made it right at the end. We had a discussion in the comments one time, and I don't know how true it is, but people in the comments were saying that I guess the official judges of the contest were factoring in like the views and going off of that as well. I don't know if this is true at all. So they might be screwed, which sucks, because then it kind of means that you would need to have some sort of a following.
He's going to do it. And just as Mills is finally about to go back to fixing Darcy.
But yeah, I don't have the confidence to put anything in there either. I'm not skilled enough to make a manga at all. But it takes a lot of courage to put yourself up to be judged. Okay. And then I want to make sure that there wasn't any gray showing at the top. I think there is a little bit. There we go.
Reply saying it costs nothing to fix the tractor, so of course he's going to do it. And just as Mills is finally about to go back to fixing Darcy's car, his stomach begins to hurt, so he has to run off to the bathroom.
Then we cut to the next page. It's pretty nice when you start off a sentence with the character's name, because then you can just take that as when you should cut to go to the next part. I forgot there's a scene of him actually running out to the bathroom.
Just as Mills is finally about to go back to fixing Darcy's car, his stomach begins to hurt, so he has to run off to the bathroom. Darcy.
Yay. Might as well. Fucking hell. On the off chance that it gets any sort of publicity, you might as well get some, I don't know, constructive criticism on it. I think that's the way to do it, but it's like, it takes a lot. It would give me a lot of anxiety doing that. I think I'm going to cut there.
So he has to run off to the bathroom. Darcy, of course, uses the opportunity to begin snooping around and see if he is really the genius that she is looking for. She begins hearing weird noises coming from one of the doors, and she heads towards it and opens the door, seeing a buff. Opens the door.
So I'm going to stop right there, and I think I'm going to have it pan the whole page. Which one did you enter, Auntie? Link me to your entry. I'll take a look at it. Because I don't know if you submitted it to us already or not, but I think we pretty much had all of the viewer submissions done that we got before the last couple of weeks.
Darcy, of course, uses the opportunity to begin.
Okay, I just did that in reverse. Whoops. So let's go back up to the top. And then back down. Okay.
Darcy, of course, uses this opportunity to begin snooping around and see if he is really the genius that she is looking for. She begins hearing weird noises coming from one of the doors, and she heads towards it and opens the door, seeing a buff-ass robot just lifting some...
Okay.
So
right when I say buff, I'll switch over to the reveal that it is a buff-ass robot lifting some weights. Bish bosh boosh. I'll keep it at 330 so you can get most of the art. Probably like that.
Or seeing a buff-ass robot just lifting some weights. Mills comes out of the bathroom.
Okay, so that should be long enough to see that it's a robot, and then I'll cut to the Mills part. Mills comes out of the bathroom. So there's actually a whole nother scene. So in case you ever want to see how much actually gets cut, there's a whole nother scene where like he gets up and gets really close to her. But I didn't think that was necessary to know to the story, so I just left that little bit out. We'll just go straight to Mills getting out.
Just lifting some weights. Mills comes out of the bathroom.
I wish you couldn't hear me breathing, but I'm just such a mouth breather. There you go. And right on C's. Go towards where the reveal is, and boom. Probably zoom in a little bit more, maybe 370.
Opened, run towards it. Sees Darcy now standing next to two robots. One of them the buff-ass robot, and one of them like a majestic little ballerina robot.
Yep. Didn't even comment on the floaty device that they had. Is that a third one there? Okay, didn't see that one.
A majestic little ballerina robot.
Sure, when I say he explains, when I'll change it. So I really skip out a lot on this one. So he, in the manga for Scrap Circus, he goes into a lot of detail into how he built them, but it doesn't ever come into play later. So I basically just skim over and go, yeah, he says he built them and he wants to keep it a secret. So let's see if I can make that work. So waiting for you to explain to me, their robots are called automatons. This might work perfectly.
But he explains to her that these are called automatons and he made them.
And I think is when I go to the next part where he wants to keep it a secret. Okay, now I gotta zoom out to 330. I think 330 is about as far as it'll go out. I'm gonna try 300. So 300. Yeah, I really want to get the whole. Let's try that. I don't think that looks too bad.
Made them. And he would really appreciate if this could just be their little secret.
Then we go to the next one where Darcy starts thinking about all the things she could do with an army of robots. Clicking over. Keep it at the good old 330. There you go. I'm going to zoom in more. I don't like when you can see the other frame, so I try to keep it just focused on the sole one frame. Like, that's perfect. I like that a lot.
Just be their little secret. Darcy immediately begins fantasizing about all the uses of being able to create these automatons.
That's that right there.
Build an army. You can achieve unimaginable power.
Cool. Then he said they have a better plan.
At which point, Mills chimes in saying, you know, what a cliche. I have such a better plan.
Then we go down to the next page where I want to build a circus of robots. So this part I might have gone by too soon. Oh, and he has the actual dragon. Okay, spoiler alert. This little dragon guy comes into play later. Didn't even notice.
I want to build the most amazing circus ever.
The name of it is Equilibrium, but warning it's a bit cringy and trashy.
Darcy
okay, I'll take a look at it in a second.
This childlike idea.
Let's see.
I want to build the most amazing circus ever, which Darcy does not agree with. Darcy eventually does some inner thinking after hearing this childlike idea.
Okay, so I want to kind of go here, but that might be too fast of a scroll.
I want to build the most amazing circus ever, which Darcy does not agree with. Darcy.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Damn, this is a big text one. Okay.
Darcy eventually does some inner thinking after hearing this childlike idea, and reality hits, thinking if the senior leader knows about this, he will be forced to
So that's
create
right
more and more
here.
weapons.
Then
He'll
it goes
be
up there.
brainwashed. It will become something bad, a garbage
Then right where I say like, scroll down to the next one where she says that, like me.
like me. So real low self-esteem from Darcy there. Mills
Then we want to cut here.
asks what she thinks, and she says it's a really good idea.
Okay, so that's just scrolling down again. So that's easy enough. I'm probably going to zoom in a bit more here as well. There we go. There we go.
Mills asks what she thinks, and she says it's a really good idea, and then says don't.
And then that's a whole new page. Okay, here, I'll look at your manga right now. Let me see. Let me open Firefox. Equilibrium. Contest is closed. RIP. These are all the ones that got in the last. Like, I was thinking of checking out this one because this guy right here, this last one, this means he was the last person to squeak into the contest. So I was thinking of looking at that one, but then I was like, nah, I'm going to go further in and try and find someone who's got buried. We want comics. Equa. I have to look how you spelled it. Is this it? With the Japanese in front of it? Anti-illustrations. Gang, gang. I'm going to assume the Japanese in front of it just says equilibrium as well. Dude, a 31 pager. Oh my God, I would have read this 100%. I love short ones. The spirit of balance. I like the Japanese that you put in here. I like that. In a big city like this, everyone's busy. I'm not going to narrate your manga. I don't want to ruin your manga. Looks good to me, man. Video games, junk food, in the norm. That sounds like my life, honestly. Oh, did he just get isekai'd? He just got hit by the isekai truck. Hell yeah. Rule of Afterlife, Chikuma Kamika, Soul Overseer. Okay, I like the little bit, she's angry. I like the Konosuba bit. You're the new spirit of balance. So the manager of the human realm. Okay. He can't see his reflection, so he could be a vampire. Either or. Okay, gets called on the cell phone. Is that what I have to protect this energy? Ooh, they're going to fight. Fight the cat. Fight the cat. I hate this Medibang thing. And if you go off the page of Medibang for like 5 minutes, it'll be like, hey, are you still there? We timed your session out. But it's just like a gray screen. It doesn't do anything. Who else needs? Why do you always do that? Oh. Is he going to save a lover's quarrel? Now balance. I missed. Okay. Check out the throw in the sports club. Okay. Yeah, sure. We go right to a javelin. Just absolutely fucking nailed her, I guess. Okay. I like this one. I like that it goes from the top and it makes it look like he's walking like this is his full body. I'm not so sure about that one. Two Piece is so good. Two Piece is good. I guess Sonic Gets Trolled was like a 4chan one that has had multiple chapters that we talked about. And we had multiple people comment on the Sonic Gets Trolled one like, oh, you just don't understand the complex emotions of Sonic Gets Trolled. And then it was like, oh, it's like some 4chan thing. So it was pretty good. The Jesus one was really good too. I was thinking on this last episode of finding a couple of the really troll ones and doing them. But I was like, I'm just going to try and find like a legit good one that just kind of got buried. Hey, what's wrong? Do your parents love you and each other? Get wrecked. Oh, this was a nice one. Signed. Oh, nice. Thank you for unique. I liked it. I don't think the art style is the best I've ever seen, obviously, like compared to some of the stuff where professional guys, like some of the people in this contest already have like contracts doing manga, but I think it's good. I like that he's like the new manager of Earth. I think that's funny. And I like the Konosuba relationship with the god. I think it's good. For 30 pages, I think it's pretty fun. It's nice. I would have reviewed this in a heartbeat for 30 pages for sure. The 50-page ones, my notes get really long. Let me show. I'm trying to think where I have my notes. Give me a second. So pretty much I write a whole script for the notes. So this is Scrap Circus, the one that we're doing right now. And when I do it, I pretty much go back through. I read it once, then I go back through and I'll retake all of my notes into what's important. So, man, if it's 30 pages, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do the 30-page one.
Don't worry, I won't tell anybody. And goes,
Okay, back to my edit.
and then says, don't.
There was another one in the contest that we didn't ever do or talk about, but someone made like a My Hero Academia spin-off, like in the world of My Hero Academia, of their own OCs. And I was like, oh man, it's like I really want to do that one too. But I lost it. I don't even remember what it's called. It was very early on. It seemed like a lot of the early additions to the contest were super troll additions because it's stuff that people already had ready. So it was probably like, they're like, hey, I got this thing. Let's just send it in and it'll be funny. Hopefully a judge will have to read it. Haha. But yeah, Two Piece was great. I like Two Piece. I wonder if it'll ever get finished.
Good idea, and then says, don't worry, I won't tell anybody, and goes to leave. Darcy exits.
Okay, Darcy exits. So I cut out a lot there. There's a whole part with like Darcy saying, I wonder if I could ever go back to the way I used to, and I just didn't even put that in the notes. Because we get right to the action coming up here, and then we're close to the end of the first manga. Darcy exiting.
Darcy exits the garage. It's nighttime now. She's smoking her cig, walking down the street when she hears.
Yeah. It could be both a scary place and a very funny place.
Somebody step behind her. She turns around, but unfortunately gets shot right in the shoulder.
I'm gonna try and scroll there. Let's see how that looks.
Street when she hears somebody step behind her. She turns around, but unfortunately gets shot right in the shoulder. We see it's the captain.
It's the captain from the beginning of the manga, is what I'm going to say. So maybe, I think you could tell she gets hit in the shoulder there, so I'm not going to cut to that top part. We'll just go straight here. And then I'm probably going to zoom in. Let's do like 450, maybe. I think that's good. I kind of don't want to show the text bubble down there, but I think we might have to.
We see it's the captain from the beginning.
We
see it's the.
I want to get right when I say captain.
We see it's the captain from the beginning of the manga, and he says nothing personal.
And he says,
nothing.
Right when he starts saying is when I want to cut it. Nothing personal, mate. Then I'll probably keep the really zoomed in part. So I think I'm going to try and not show that Mills runs out. But then you don't get to see much of his face. I think that's good. Kinda. Let's try that.
And he says nothing personal, just discarding the scrap. And that's when Mills runs.
That's when, and then when I say Mills, Mills, we'll cut over to Mills. Boom. So there's no way around. I might zoom out on this one and see. So let's do 375. We'll show the whole thing like that. I'm going to try and get his whole face this time in this. Boom. Let's try that.
Discarding the scrap. And that's when Mills runs out, having heard the gunshot.
I don't even know what Jose just said there. So Jose and Josh are on the same audio track, and I'm on my separate one just because for ease of access, so we don't all have to record our audio. So I can cut them out or I can cut me out.
For a second, calling out to Darcy and gunshot, and distracts the.
So I didn't ever mention that Darcy gave Mills a different name, so hopefully people don't get confused by that.
Darcy the ability. And that.
So let's go to the next page. She pulls out her gun here, which might not make much sense, but let me see. Okay, maybe 350 on that one. And we're zoomed.
To Darcy, and that gives Darcy the ability to pull out her gun and shoot the captain right in the dome. Well, really.
So I'm gonna play the whole sentence here and see if I want to
emblem on
scroll.
his hat. So unfortunately, he ends up just getting up, no problem, and proceeds to.
So right here is where I'm gonna stop, because after that he punches her right in the fucking dome, which I think is what I see in the actual video as well. So let's scroll all the way down, then replay it.
That gives Darcy the ability to pull out her gun and shoot the captain right in the dome.
You can kind of see that.
Really, the emblem on his
Then
hat.
I like this
So
part. I like seeing
unfortunately,
that.
He ends up just getting up, no problem.
I wish
and
the emblem on his
proceeds to
hat
sucker
part was a
punch
little sooner. So maybe
no problem.
on the no problem part, I'll switch to that.
Dome. Well, really, the emblem on his hat. So unfortunately, he ends up just getting up, no problem, and proceeds to.
Okay, so right there, when I say sucker punch, we'll switch over to her actually getting sucker punched, because that's worth seeing. Boom. Just gets absolutely riddled. I don't know what this thing is. That's supposed to be his gun. I did not see that the first time. I don't know. What is that? Oh, he took her gun. He's holding her gun backwards. Got it.
Up, no problem, and proceeds to sucker punch Darcy in her goddamn mouth.
This
pisses off Mills, who tries.
Okay, so on the word piss, I'll probably go down. You coward, leave my client alone and fight me. So I think that's the only part that I say. I don't think we need to see the middle part.
Punch Darcy in her goddamn mouth. This pisses off Mills, who tries to.
I kind of want it under this. There we go.
This pisses off Mills.
I like to get it on the beginning. I watch almost everything subbed, but I do have a few anime that I really like dubbed. So I like Trigun dubbed. I like Cowboy Bebop dubbed. I think I watched Gurren Lagann dubbed, but I've since watched it subbed, and I think I could care less. Black Lagoon dubbed is really good, and I'm a Dragon Ball Z dub guy. So those are like the ones that I really want to watch dubbed. Everything else I'll watch subbed.
For Mills to run.
I did watch the first or two, I think, of the latest Digimon movies in dubbed. I watched those two. So pretty much the older stuff I'll watch dubbed. Any of the new stuff I'll watch subbed.
Darcy yells for Mills to run. So, I mean, congratulations to Mills. Which the
Okay, so when I say captain is when we're going to switch to Mills getting absolutely clonked. Do a 330 because it's a big one. He gets absolutely riddled here.
Him, which the captain does. So, I mean, congratulations to Mills there. Darcy.
So we'll cut to Darcy doing the screaming, which I think is just the next panel down. Let's do like 450 and see how that looks. Okay, so I think right here is actually really good. I don't want to show that he says don't miss next because it's a little bit of a spoilerino.
There. Darcy yells for Mills to run, but Mills on the ground smirks and says, don't miss this.
Okay, so then we go down.
Smirks and says, don't.
So on the don't, we'll go down to the last panel where he throws the gun. Zoom out. Let's see, like 400. See how zoomed in we could stay. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
And says, don't miss this time, and slides Darcy the gun of the captain that he stole as he was getting punched.
Thank you for explaining that. So maybe
Darcy the gun of the captain that he stole.
So when I say stole, the captain realizes that he stole his gun up top. So I'm going to try and fit that in, but it might be too much back and forth. Thoughts on Chainsaw Man? I haven't read Chainsaw Man yet.
That he stole.
I was thinking of doing it for our monthly manga book club that we do, where we do these reviews every Friday. First Monday of every month, we do the monthly book club where we actually read published stuff. On that one, I try to read like not as well known, so I try to kind of stay away from Shonen Jump. But we just did Eden Zero, which was the by Fairy Tail guy, which was fantastic, and that's getting an anime coming up. I really liked Eden Zero. Then we're doing Don't Bully Me or Don't Tease Me, Miss Nagatoro-chan or something. That one's not a shonen, so that one might be interesting. I'm normally
as he's
reading
getting
shonen
punched.
stuff. Chainsaw Man, that one I know people really love. People love Chainsaw Man.
Darcy
So I might wait on that one to watch the anime, and then I'll hop into the manga
gets up,
after the
points the gun.
anime.
he was getting punched. Darcy
But the only manga that I actively keep up with is My Hero Academia, One Piece, Black Clover, and One Punch Man, I think. And even One Piece, I'm kind of hit or miss on. When I go to read One Piece, it's like, oh man, One Piece has so much text and like it's in a big part of the manga and there's so much going on. It's like
points the gun to the
I'm not the
captain.
most excited
The
about reading
captain
One
says,
Piece
"Even if you
nowadays.
do
Meanwhile, My Hero Academia is fire right now, so I look forward to reading My Hero
Other-
Academia every time. One Piece, not so much.
other men will take you down," and we see 3 other men are there as well. We get the time-old, I don't know, saying motif where she says, "Who said I'm aiming for you?"
Okay, so then I'm just going to scroll on this one. Then I'm going to go all the way back. So this one, let's start at the top, like that. And then I'm going to drag it all the way down to the bottom to where she says, "Who said I'm aiming for you?" Since that'll line up perfectly. And then we'll probably turn it so it goes more towards there. Oh, I didn't know I had so much page left. Okay, let's try that.
He gets up, points the gun to the captain. But the
Dude,
captain
shonen
says,
for
"Even if you
sure.
do shoot
Oh,
me, my other men will
I-
take you down," and we
On
see
our
3 other men
podcast
are
and
there
stuff,
as well.
I'm always shitty
We get
shonen
the
gang.
time-old,
Even if
I
the
don't know,
shonen is
saying
trash and or just like
motif
super
where she
mediocre,
says,
I
"Who said
love
I'm
that
aiming
stuff.
for you?" And then we
I'm
see
all
Darcy
about
shoots,
shonen.
"I'm aiming for you," and then we see Darcy
And I mean like a battle shonen, you know, if I want to be more specific. Like any of that fight stuff, oh, I love it. I just absolutely love it. I don't need the most in-depth one. Like I do like the occasional anime that's going to make me bawl my fucking eyes out. But a lot of that stuff, like slice of life stuff, I have a really hard time making it through slice of life stuff. It's just a little boring. Yeah. Shitty shonen gang, Jose. Shout out, shout out. Not himself as Jose. He's this guy. I know you would think Jose is this guy, but he's not. Okay.
aiming for you, and then we see Darcy shoots a acid,
Yeah, I just wanted to clear up so they didn't think you were Josh. You know, I'm just repping your good name.
and then we see Darcy shoots a acetylene cylinder. I don't know if that's actually a real thing, but
Okay, so then we go when it says causes. So I can't really put the part where she actually shoots it, but I could put it in the big explosion. We'll zoom out. I want to get as much of this explosion as we can. Did you get your testing
but
done
it
today,
causes an
Jose?
explosion, and a lot of gas begins flying everywhere. Explosion and a lot of gas.
So I'm gonna try and get this scene in there as well. It might be too hard to see the explosion and
But
the
it causes
gas.
an explosion, and a lot
Explosion.
of gas begins flying everywhere.
Makes sense.
Cap-
Then we'll go to the next page and show that the captain and his men are still totally okay. I'm zooming through the end of this manga here. Hey, sweet. Enjoy that day off, dude. Hell yeah. I'm super jealous, man. I was trying to leave work early today. I finished at like 1:45. I was doing a 9 to 5, finished 1:45. And then I was like, "Hey, I'm all done down there. Can I go?" They're like, "Oh, we had a lot of call outs. We'd really like you to stay." So then I stayed till 3:30, took my lunch, and then I got a call like, "Hey, do you just want to go?" I was like, "Fuck you, and fuck
didn't
you."
work, and now he'll definitely kill her and the boy.
Favorite sitcom TV shows? I'm gonna be a basic bitch and say The Office if that counts, because I don't really watch too much TV.
Captain and his men reappear unscathed, laughing that her little suicide trick didn't work, and now he'll definitely kill her and the boy.
Most of my time is working on stuff for the channel, and then I gotta watch Bleach because we do a Bleach podcast where we're rewatching Bleach.
But
So I
from
watch 6 to 10 episodes of Bleach a week. Big Bang Theory.
smoke
Okay,
slash gas,
Jose.
we hear
Okay.
boy. But from
I have no idea what that means. Say Ryle right now. Huzzah. Oh, say Slack right now. I agree. I agree. I don't know. I honestly don't know if Jose is memeing or not, or if that's actually his real favorite sitcom.
But from the smoke slash gas, we hear, of course, that was just a distraction until I prepare everything for the main event of my show. Then we get a beautiful.
Okay, so when I say beautiful is when I want to change.
We get a.
I like Parks and Rec too. I think Parks and Rec is very good. Parks and Rec. Back in the day, I really liked watching Survivor, which is just another shitty TV show. Now all I watch though is I if I'm eating and I want something on while I'm eating, I'm Shark Tank, man. Shark Tank all the way. I fucking love Shark Tank.
Of just like a page spread of get a beautiful.
Okay, then we're gonna change right there. Go to the 2-pager. We're almost done with the first one. Dude, I love Shark Tank. It's so good. I feel like I'm starting to turn into a dad. Like I like Shark Tank, Pawn Stars, Storage Wars, all of that stuff that's just garbage TV is so good.
Of just like a giant ass mechanic dragon and its introduction of Fear, the abominable man-eater. The dragon.
Okay, 2 more pages left. Here we go. It's kind of crazy art, like looking at it, that they're doing all the lines and they still make this. It's pretty cool.
The dragon takes an attack. The men try to shoot it, but it does. The men try to shoot it.
Okay, so go there on shoot. Get pictures of them hopefully shooting it, which I think they do. Yeah, right there. The men try to shoot it. It doesn't work.
The men try to shoot it, but it does nothing against its metal body.
Then right on this, cut again. Go to them running away. On the home stretch for the first one.
This causes the captain's men to turn tail and run. The dragon roars.
Then after this, I'm going to have to go to bed because I got to go to fucking work tomorrow. Hate to see it.
The dragon roars, and that then causes the captain himself to run. The
dragon roars. Oh, I do like Community. Community's good. I really like Community. I watch Rick and Morty also. They're all good.
And to turn tail and run. The dragon roars, and that then causes the captain himself to run off as well, promising to come back and kill Darcy himself. Darcy on the ground because she is shot in the.
Okay, so Darcy on the ground is the one of the very bottom ones. How much of this do I actually talk about? I can't remember.
Darcy on the ground because she is shot in the fucking shoulder. Apologizes to Mills, saying it's her fault, but then promises to not let them touch Mills.
Okay, so that's the bottom part here. Let's see if that looks good.
Darcy on the ground because she is shot.
Hey, shout out Conquest Comics. What's up, dog?
But then promises.
I'm lurking in your streams all the time, man. Usually when I'm editing, I have your stream on if you're live. So I'm just kind of chilling in there editing, but
page we get Darcy promises to not let them touch Mills. On our last.
Okay, then when I say last page, cut over to the next one. And then we're pretty much done with the first one. Yeah, I just normally don't type because I don't really have anything to say. So I'm just chilling in there. I saw you showing off the silver edition of the comic. Congrats. Looks fantastic.
Last page, we get Darcy asking Mills one last question as to why he saved her. Mills replies,
I think
saying,
I'm going to
don't
try
need
and
a
put the
reason,
whole
saving
last
someone's life is
page on this
already a
one.
good thing in itself. Darcy replies, thanks, Mills, and that is the end of the manga.
I'm trying to do the full scroll on the last page. There's actually a sweet looking black and white final page on this one.
Last page, we get Darcy asking Mills one last question as to why he saved her. Mills replies, saying,
Yeah,
don't need a
it's sweet,
reason,
man.
saving someone's life is already a good thing in itself. Darcy replies, thanks, Mills, and that
Must feel
that
pretty
is
good
the end
though
of
to
the
have
manga.
like something that you completed physically in your hands. It's
I need
pretty
to figure
sweet.
it out.
Is the end of the manga.
Okay, I think that's good. Let me see that again.
On our last page, we get Darcy asking Mills one last question as to why he saved her. Mills replies, saying, I don't need a reason. Saving someone's life is already a good thing in itself. Darcy replies, thanks, Mills, and that is the end of the manga.
Hey, no problem. You didn't need our help, man. You're way more popular than we were. But I'm just saying, man, next Indiegogo Crossroads Drive manga. That's all I'm saying. We loved that. We were still talking about just the other day because this is our last one we're doing for Tezuka. And then we're going to try and like announce what we thought was the best. And we were just talking about Crossroads Drive the other day. It was like, that shit was good.
I need to
Like,
figure it out.
Crossroads Drive was really good.
For that one.
Yeah, I need to lower the
I
lights
thought
in
it-
the room and sit near the blinds so I get a cigarette.
You know, very detective-y, very noir.
Yeah.
Like Sin City almost.
Yeah,
And
Very
really.
much so. That's what I thought it was at first. I'm like, huh.
I feel like the black and white thing has kind of died off. You know, like that Sin
Yeah.
City like detective thing. Like it's like
Where's Odie been at? I feel like I haven't seen him around a lot. Last I saw, you had him on the stream and he was showing off his ants. It was cracking me up.
Really
It's
does
like dude has a
that
giant
anymore. It's like,
ant
guys,
colony
we beat
going.
that shit into the ground a few years ago, so we're probably gonna stick away from that.
So I don't know, but you know what is like actually back? Apparently art styles like Archie. Like I don't know if we've just picked them or what, or if there's like some manga style that we just don't know, but I didn't know so many people like that
Oh
style
shit! I thought he
of
was
Archie stuff,
back.
'cause it
I
does
didn't know
feel
he's
like
back doing
noir,
military stuff
and then
again.
The whole rest of the story is very bright and like kind of fun.
That's
cozy.
crazy.
I don't know. It was just
But even
It's
like
weird.
Darcy through the whole thing.
I
was
work with
not
someone who
military,
always says that he believes
Yeah,
everybody
yeah,
should
like-
either have to
yeah.
do
So
military
it's like,
service
you
or
basically got,
retail.
like,
So
Darcy
I'm sure he would
from
agree
the
with that.
detective dark side of it, and then it's like you meet Mills,
Oh, okay.
where he's just like the happy-go-lucky,
yeah.
like, hey, what's up? What's going on? It's like I'm the mechanic. Hey, it's like oh, and then Darcy and the captain are like, yeah, we're kind of gonna kill this guy and force him into labor. One of the two.
Yep.
So, but it was good. It was very simple. It was fun. It kind of reminded me like I didn't get so much of an Archie art style off of it.
Oh, I'm
but
sure.
I would agree
I
that
mean,
it's
and
kind of
Odie
like
seems
the
like he's a
classic,
fucking workhorse, man.
Sunday
Like I see he's
comic.
doing the commissions
It's
now,
like
and some of that
fun, like,
commission
oh,
art
look
he's
at this
doing
funny
is
thing that happened.
crazy.
Comic strip read.
Yeah, like
He's
the
talented.
classic, like here's a really serious event that's happening, and here's like just a happy-go-lucky kid who's just kind of like Home Alone almost.
Yeah. And I agree. I really liked it too. I would think this one's got like strong, like story, like one-shot story episode kind of
Mm-hmm.
potential. Like, hey, Darcy and Mills are out today, and he made this wacky invention. And like, I think it would be really fun.
Yeah, it leaves it wide open to do a lot of myriad of other things.
Yeah, it's gonna be
But
sweet,
they
man.
did go
I'm looking
more
forward
into
to that.
detail-
So
Yeah,
he was.
oh, yeah, hell
I
yeah.
think Odie tweeted something out the other day, like
They-
poking
they-
the bears on people who hate you, and I was like, God, you guys are cracking me up. It's like
You go more into
my life is so anti-drama compared to you
detail,
guys.
too,
It's like
where
I'm
I
just.
didn't mention it, but
your
they
life is
do
like a
kind of make
reality
big
show
deal about
compared to
him figuring
mine.
Out, like the heart glue, I believe what
Oh,
what
yeah.
it's called.
I feel like the first one wasn't that expensive. I guess if you're trying to get it more in line with the manga
But they
cost,
don't
then yeah,
touch
manga
on
is
it
pretty
ever again
cheap.
because like the captain doesn't know, but I can see that coming into play later, where it's like, oh, he can basically create life, you know.
You know damn well we're gonna see one of those robots die in front of us, and it's gonna be heart-wrenching as
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that, man.
This is
People
good.
coming
We're
after
gonna
you.
do Iron Man, you know, and then we're
No,
good.
I'm out.
So this part here, and I think I cut it already. So I mentioned Iron Man, and Josh thinks we're talking
Stand
about
up and
Iron
create
Giant,
Man, you know, and then we're
and
No,
so he
I'm
gets
out.
like triggered over Iron Man here.
Are you sure it's not Ultron?
I-
well,
Ooh, that would be cool.
could be either. Or okay, Ultron's cool. Iron Man's not apparently.
I watched the 24-hour marathon when it came
Yeah, here we go.
years and years ago, and I cannot watch that movie because it still physically hurts to watch.
The
Him
first
die
Iron
every
Man?
time. Not Iron Man. No, I meant Iron Giant. I'm sorry, Derp.
It's like, what are you talking about?
I'm so dumb.
I think I'm gonna
Oh
keep
my
that in.
God.
So anything else to say about the manga? I feel like it's a good one.
I think it's
pretty
special.
straightforward. There's not much to
I
say.
love
There
the
was
art style with it.
art style I thought was very good. There were a few times where like the sentence structure didn't make sense. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it was like
Elite
everyone-
chocolates,
lines specifically
welcome,
kinda
my
stuck out, but
dude.
yeah,
Oh my god,
it was, like,
I thought you were
super
dead.
good, and then
I
about
haven't seen you
halfway
in
through
so
you got
long.
the
I saw you
line, like,
commented on Josh's
it-
thing.
It was
And
like,
then-
it
But,
was just weird enough
you
where it wasn't
disappeared
all
for a
the way
good
through,
time?
But like, let's say like I don't know, once every 9 pages or something, there would be one text bubble where it's like, what? I'm not so
And-
sure that's what that was supposed to be.
That could have just been like a editor mess up, like.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. It was not unreadable. Like some of them are,
It
where
wasn't
you have
bad,
to like
like, there's
really
some-
think.
I thought you had something to say.
So if you guys want to peek behind the screens, this
Wasn't
happens
bad,
every
like,
once in a
there's
while.
Think.
Where, because Josh and Jose are on the same audio track and we record over Discord, so there's a little bit of a delay. And so if you start talking over one each other, then you don't know who's gonna go and who's gonna not go. So let me just cut that, because I think Jose does.
Something.
No, I was just gonna go with what Josh was saying, as in like sometimes it's kind of hard to with what Josh was saying, as in
Let's see if I could do that.
like sometimes it's kind of
I'm gonna try and get it right to where he says sometimes.
sometimes it's
Yeah, there you go. There you go. There you go.
sometimes it's kind of
This is movie magic. Normally, it's very easy to cut if we have pictures of the manga up on screen, because then you have no
There's
idea.
something.
sometimes it's kind of hard to read some of them where you go back and read it a couple times.
You
and
never
it's like,
know.
okay, yeah, that's what he meant to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you get some puzzle pieces, and you're like, okay, here's what it says on the page. Here's what it looks like on the page. Got to put those together. Yeah.
Yeah, they
It was-
wanted to give
just-
you a little bit of mystery to go with the mystery. Yeah.
I'm dyslexic, so it just looks normal to me. guys.
Jose.
Jose's like, okay, yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I-
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait to have us write a fucking manga. with you then.
Oh no.
Oh no no
Okay, well,
no.
let's move on to the next one. That was Scrap Circus.
Okay, and then at the end, I always like to put the manga again.
One. That was
Scrap Circus. I'll probably just copy it from the front. So then we do Icarus Rising. Hey, no problem. Thanks, Liam. Appreciate it. Be watching your streams whenever you go live. Looking forward to them. Have a good one, man. Yeah, our manga would be just absolute AIDS. Just like yeah, okay, well, let's sit down and make a manga. My manga would be lots of people dying. All the
Scrap
main
Circus
characters
by
would be
Pablo
dying.
Diaz.
I've always wanted to make like a pirate manga
Pablo Diaz.
that
Next, we're gonna move on
actually has
to-
to do with pirating. You know? Because like there's One Piece for like a pirate manga.
Scrap
but
Circus by Pablo
They don't really do much
Diaz.
pirating.
Next, we're gonna
They
move
they
on
don't
to
really do
Icarus.
much. I really liked the show, Black Sails. That shit was really good, and it was a little bit like Game of Thrones meets Pirates a little bit. It was, I think, supposedly a prequel to Treasure Island, but that show was fantastic, and I would love to do something like that, but more anime shonen
Diaz. Next, we're
action
gonna move
meets that
on
kind of
to Icarus Rising.
Game of Thrones style. So I'm gonna make these bigger, actually. Do 120.
Scrap Circus by Pablo Diaz. Next, we're gonna move on to Icarus Rising.
Let's cut this over, and then we'll make that 120 as well. So this one is the most viewed manga out of the whole contest, Icarus Rising. And I don't
By
know,
Pablo
we never
Diaz.
look into the
Next, we're gonna
background of
move on to
authors before we do
Icarus
it, so I don't know if they have like a really huge social following or what.
Rising by Brandon
but
Chen and Muhammad
2
Ali.
million followers. Or not 2 million followers, 2 million views.
Alright, so this one begins with the often overlooked lyric from John Lennon's song "Imagine."
I forgot he fucking said this. Pirates in Space Shonen. So the problem is that there's already Captain Harlock, which is a space pirate, and that's a classic that I've not read or watched any of. So I don't know. I don't know if he does a good job with the genre already.
Muhammad Ali.
Usually when I'm doing the introductions to the next one, there's a little bit of a delay because we're on Discord once again. So I usually just cut it out, and that way it'll start
Muhammad
automatically.
Ali.
All right, so this one begins with the often overlooked lyric from John Lennon's song "Imagine."
Josh fucking
So,
kills me,
here we go.
dude. Oh my god. Okay. All right, let me switch over my folder to Icarus Rising here. We'll start on this one. Yeah, I don't know why. It's weird. It's really weird. And it came out, it wasn't even entered until very close to the end, and then it just shot up.
So this one
Oops, that's not the page I want. Here we go. But he actually, hilarious, the author on this one, Brandon Chen, we finished recording this and we were hanging out talking. We were actually trying to talk about what of the manga we've already read we think are the best ones and like who we would pick as our winners. And I looked at my phone, it's like, oh, someone wants to message us on Instagram, whatever. And then we kept talking, and then I checked again, and it's the author of this manga. He messaged us on Instagram and was like, hey, saw you're doing reviews. I entered 2 manga, which I didn't know he had a second one. I entered 2 manga into the contest. Would love for you guys to check them out. And then he linked Icarus Rising and whatever the second one is. So I told him, I was like, dude, that's fucking wild because we just finished recording like 30 minutes ago, and one of them is Icarus Rising. So that guy has the timing of gods,
So
apparently, to
this
reach
one
out like that.
begins with the often overlooked lyric from John Lennon's song "Imagine." So here we go. Imagine a world where every inch is scorched by war, a world where the weak perish and the strong abandon us, which is just one of my favorite lines.
It's
from
just
that
one of the
song.
lyrics. you
If
took
I
out,
could
right?
cut
Like,
this
yeah,
out
it's-
without losing the intro, I would fucking do it. Fucking Josh.
Super good. No one really talks about it.
Okay.
While this is all being read to us, we're getting a little spread where we get a massive beast, which are called Terras, and it's fighting the mother of a family of 5, while the father and the 3 children are attempting to flee.
Okay, so I'm gonna. Josh has kind of dicked me on
Perish
this
and
one.
the strong abandon us, which is just one of my favorite lines.
It's
from
just
that
one of the
song.
lyrics he took out, right? Later
Yeah,
on.
it's
Yeah,
super good. No one really talks about it.
yeah, that's quite the mistype you made there, dog. Okay, so I might do just a
While this
full
is all
scroll here of the
being
first page
read
and
to
cut
us,
this whole other
we're
part
getting
out
a little, spread where
because
we
Josh
get a
goes back
massive
through
beast,
it, which is
are
a
called
little
Terras,
annoying
and it's fighting the mother of a family of 5.
because he's
while
describing
the
this one right
father
now.
and the 3 children are attempting to flee. And then we also see the angels who are looking down on them.
Then
as
he
they're fighting for
cuts
their
this
lives,
one,
and they all
goes
fly
down
up
to the other
their
one.
city, kind of just give them the cold shoulder, and they're just saying deuces. So this is of course all a dream from 10 years ago, and our main character wakes up.
Okay, so I can either make a decision here.
While this is all being read to us, we're getting a little spread where we get a massive beast, which are called Terras, and it's fighting.
So I need the part where he says they're called Terrace, which is annoying.
We're getting a little spread where we get a massive beast.
Yeah, I didn't realize at the time that Josh double explains the first page. So let me see how I could figure this out.
An overlooked lyric from John Lennon's song "Imagine." So here we go. Imagine a world where every inch is scorched by war.
Why does he read it like that?
And the strong abandon us, which is just one of my favorite lines.
It's
from
just
that
one of the
song.
lyrics he took out, right? Later on.
It's super good. No one really talks about it. While
Okay.
this is all being read to us, we're getting a little spread where we get a mass.
The one where Sonic beheads everyone. Yeah. We were just talking about it earlier. Tails gets trolled. Yeah.
Which is just one of my favorite lines.
It's
from
just
that
one of the
song.
lyrics he took out, right? Later on.
It's super good. No one
Okay, so maybe I won't do a scroll.
with the often overlooked lyric from John Lennon's song "Imagine." So here we go.
Okay, so let's maybe not go into.
All right, so this one begins with the often overlooked lyric from John Lennon's.
So
song
here's
"Imagine."
Josh. You can see he's
So
reading.
here we go.
Here's me. I'm
Imagine
already
a
looking
world
around
where
like, oh
every inch is
Lord, here we
scorched by
go.
A world where the weak perish and the strong abandon. Imagine a world where every inch is scorched by war.
Why is he reading it like that? Like this fucking guy,
by
dude.
war. A world where the weak perish and the strong.
Okay. Yeah, the most passion-filled one. Yeah. Okay.
A world where the weak perish and the strong abandon us, which is just one of my favorite.
Josh kills me, dude.
Just one of which is just
Okay, so maybe we'll cut out of that because we're gonna have to go back over the whole thing because he
a world
describes
where
it.
the weak perish and the strong abandon us, which is just one of my favorite.
Maybe I'll zoom in. I don't know. So like that, maybe, and then we'll zoom in here. Let's do like 450. We're all high school friends. Every single one of us are high school friends. Actually, some of us might be middle school friends. I think Jose and Josh knew each other in middle school. I met everybody in high school. But we all went to the same middle school and the same high school, so it's like we kind of knew about each other. But I mean, I don't want to brag, but I hung out with all of the cool kids in middle school, and they hung out with the fucking nerds. And then I met them in high school, and we were the nerdy kids in high school.
While this is all being read,
And it's like, my friends were the cool kids in middle school because 2 of them went on to be football players, so they were clearly the cool kids. Yeah, 30-year-old friendship, please. Excuse me, I'm only 50. So no, we graduated in 2010, so 2006 is our first year. So it's like 14 years at least for me, longer for other people, which is pretty sweet. Oh, I just messed this up. There we go. Okay, we're like gravity. Yeah, so how are we like gravity? Go ahead. We pull each other together.
while this is all being read to us, we're getting a little spread where we get a massive beast, which are called Terras, and it's fighting the mother of a family of 5, while the father and the 3 children are attempting to flee. And then we also see the angels who are looking down on them as they're fighting for their lives.
I wonder if you already had read my one-shot Promnesia. Did we read Promnesia? Let me see. I'm not sure if we read Promnesia or not. Hold on, I'm pulling up our list. Remember. Josh just fucked me with that Imagine line. Oh my god. No, we did not read Promnesia. So that was one of the last ones on our list. And this is our last one we're doing right now. So unfortunately, we're not going to get to it.
Kind of just give them the cold shoulder.
I could check it out, though, and let you know what I think. Okay, it's right there. And the strong abandon us. He's just watching. We bring people down. Yes. Yeah, we nerds are like gravity. We bring others down with us. We do like the crab theory or lobster theory.
A little spread where we get a massive beast, which are called Terras, and it's fighting the mother of a family of 5, while the father.
We pull in the cool kids and bring them up to our level, or bring them down to our level.
We also see the angels who are looking down on them as they're fighting for their lives, and they all fly up to their city, kind of just give them the cold shoulder, and they're just saying deuces. So this is, of course, all a dream.
Sweet, that works out perfectly. Yeah, you change your statement to be more negative. That's a good way.
So this is
you know what? You've convinced me. I want my statement to be much more negative. So thank you, Elite Chocolates. Us nerds, we bring people down.
And they're just saying deuces. So this is, of course, all a dream from 10 years ago, and our main character wakes up, His name is Icarus, and he sees his sister Kore looking over at the stars, and she's looking out at the angel city.
Okay, so this one I can actually do a motion on.
He wakes up. His name is Icarus, and he sees his sister Kore looking over at the stars.
Okay, so that's probably right there because this is the first page. Look at that. That is beautiful. It's been hours.
This is, of course, all a dream from 10 years ago, and our main character wakes up.
I kind of don't like
His
how
name is
fast that
Icarus, and
starts
he
there,
sees his
but
sister Kore looking over
I
at
think
the
that's going to have to
stars,
do.
and she's
So, I think we jump around a lot here. I'm trying to look at the pages on the other screen.
looking out at the angel city, and she's getting hope from it. And this is when we get a brief flashback from their older brother Elias, who was using bionic wings to try and soar up towards it.
Okay, so that's just the next page over. Got it. That's not as bad as I thought. I thought I was gonna have to jump all the way over to the other page. Gangsta City, Gangsta City.
Looking out at the angel city, and she's getting hope from it. And this is when we get a brief flashback from their.
I think
older
was that
brother
me that just
Elias,
yawned there in
who
the
was using
background? I
bionic
thought I
wings
just heard
to
someone
try and
yawn.
soar up towards it. So despite his request.
Okay, so this is gonna be the full page. Let's see if I can do it that. So we might just do just the 2 panels. That might not look too bad. Let's try that.
Out at the angel city, and she's getting hope from it. And this is when we get a brief flashback from their older brother Elias, who was using bionic wings to try and soar up towards it. So just
It's gonna go to the next page. Delete that. Remember to. He's absolutely, that song is gonna be stuck in my head. Okay.
So despite his request for peace, Elias was killed by the angels, and Icarus still holds.
So probably just want to do straight to this one. I don't do them as often as I would like to. If there's a new game that's coming out, we'll live stream. Like I think the last one we did was Genshin Impact. We did a Genshin Impact live stream. This one I wanted to do last week. I wanted to live stream, kind of editing and hang out and see if anybody had any questions. But I had a fucking canker sore in my mouth and it hurt really bad to talk. So I was not in the mood to do that. But I would love to do more live streaming and hanging out. So we'll see. I work retail, so holiday season has been fucked.
But after some lighthearted sibling bants and whatnot, the two of them meet up with their. His request for peace, Elias was killed by the angels, and Icarus still holds a lot of resentment for this. But after.
Okay. But after. So let's zoom out and try to get as much of this as we can.
After some lighthearted sibling bants and whatnot, the two of them meet up with their father for dinner.
I really want to cut there. Let's try there. Let's go to the front. We'll do that. Oops, I just messed that up. Let's try that, possibly. It's hard to do when there's not a lot of space.
After some lighthearted sibling bants and whatnot, the two
Yeah, I
of them
think
meet
that's
up
good.
with their
That's
father
good.
for dinner.
I like that.
Corey is.
And then we got to go to their father for dinner, which zoom out. And I think that's the next page. Oh, yeah, there we go. There. So I would like, preferably,
Not the two of them meet up with their father for dinner.
right where it says dinner is what I would like to change over to this.
The two of them meet up with their father for dinner.
Yeah, I think that
Corey
works. I think that'll work. So I'll do like this page here.
Started sibling bants and whatnot. The two of them meet up with their father for dinner. Corey is clearly wanting to start like a fight with them.
I'm the prophet. Yes, the prophet of this community, Leet Chocolates. Please share the daily words of wisdom, Leet Chocolates, and then we can all live a nice day tomorrow.
For dinner. Corey is clearly
Corey. I think Josh should go straight to the next one here.
Corey is clearly wanting to start like a fight with them because right off the bat she asks whether the father or asks her father whether or not the angels will be coming back down to save them all from the terrace. The father calmly basically lays it out saying,
I'm gonna leave all these times Josh messes up in. Sacrilege, error, sacrilege. Enemy of the church. Enemy of the church.
will be coming back down to save them all from the terrace. The father calmly basically lays it out saying they're probably just waiting for us all to die off, which was really fucked up but true.
Okay, I feel like I've dragged the wrong thing here. Yep, I've somehow done that. There we go. Spooky candle going out.
Die off, which was really fucked up but true. And despite that obvious truth, Corey is now triggered, and before she can do anything, the candle is blown out.
Spooky.
Signaling the arrival of a massive terror.
My birthday, I am an Aries, so April for me, baby. Gang, gang.
True, and despite that obvious truth, Corey is now triggered, and before she can do anything, the candle is blown out, signaling the arrival of a massive terrace. The terrace of a massive terrace. The terrace immediately grabs Corey and
Damn, look at the art on this. Beautiful.
pulls her away. Icarus goes to grab his mother's sword, pulls her away.
You hear that little gotta cut out a lot of those from a good old Joshy boy. How did this get linked again? How'd that happen?
Pulls her away.
Hey, happy birthday, dog.
Icarus
Are you saying tomorrow as in 12/2 or tomorrow as in it's already midnight where you live?
goes to grab his mother's sword from the case, but while the father is just sitting there paralyzed. While he is able to strike the beast, while the father
Oh, December 3rd. Okay, I'm on West Coast time, so it's still December 1st for me.
is just sitting there paralyzed.
Oh, look at this. I forgot I had Steam open, so I had to close Steam and everything right in the middle.
Father is just sitting there paralyzed. His mother's sword from the cave.
Well, happy birthday regardless. So December 3rd, how old are you going to be? Let me guess. Based off of everything I know about you, Leets. 19. That's my guess. Now, I'm now realizing that could potentially be an offensive guess because either I'm guessing too old or too little. But the words have left my mouth, so I'm going for 19. Oh, okay, that was close.
Case, but while the father is just sitting there paralyzed, while he's able to strike the beast, he's not able to do damage.
Yeah, some people say West Coast, best coast. So
But
okay, so he gets the sword.
case, but while the
Father sits there out of his mind. Zoom out.
father is just sitting there paralyzed, while they're
I'm gonna try and super zoom in on the part where he's paralyzed, because he's actually, it shows he gets. I feel like I'm going too zoomed in. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
the father is just sitting there paralyzed, while he's able to strike.
Okay, then we cut over to him striking the beast, but it does fucking nothing, mate. No problem. Be waiting patiently for you to get back.
While he's able to strike the beast, he's not able to do damage to it, and he's immediately flung away. And without skipping a beat, he's immediately flung.
Damn, he gets hella flung away too. Send it.
And he's immediately flung away. And without skipping a beat, the beast fires like a.
Beast fires like a massive. Oh yeah, okay. We're jumping hella pages now. We're flying. This fight scene's gonna be over real quick. I mean, the arts on this manga is pretty fucking fantastic.
The beast fires like a massive energy blast at him. Now the energy blast at him.
So I think at him is where I'll cut, because I want to show the part where he's charging the beam up. There we go. Boom. It's like he fired his Sero.
Blast at him. Now the
Then we'll cut at father, because the father is actually in the game now. But the problem is that I want most of this. G Fuel, I've never done G Fuel. I don't know anything about G Fuel. I don't really do any sort of supplements or anything like that. But I know almost all of the streamers are sponsored by G Fuel.
Father steps in and starts shooting him.
So they must have buku bucks.
Corey's relieved to see that Icarus didn't die from that attack. The gun.
I'd really like to show this and this. I wonder if that's going to be too quick. Have you tried G Fuel before, Air?
Start shooting him with a gun. Corey's relieved. done. Corey's relieved to see that Icarus didn't die from that attack, and she's all happy, and then is immediately.
So I'm gonna zoom in again, hella here. Yeah, there we go.
Is relieved to see that Icarus didn't die from that attack, and she's all happy, and then is immediately killed. She's all happy, and then is
Immediately killed. Brutal. Super brutal.
Icarus didn't die from that attack, and she's all happy, and she's all happy.
So I think I'm gonna switch to her here when she's happy, and then I'm gonna show Icarus is okay right here.
Corey's relieved to see that Icarus didn't die from that attack, and she's all happy, and then is immediately killed.
Okay, so I'm gonna, now that I switched that up, we'll keep her happy a little longer, and then switch over to immediately killed.
Corey's relieved to see that Icarus didn't die from that attack, and she's all happy, and then is immediately killed brutally in the hands of the terrorists.
Okay.
Brutally in the hands.
So when it says hands, we'll scroll down to the next one. We'll get this awesome shot. Bing.
Brutally in the hands of the terrorists, which was really mega fucked up. They didn't like save anything. That kind of sends the two of them into a.
So I'm going to cut off the they there. Make this as lean as possible. That mixed with milk. Okay, I've heard of that before. Strawberry banana moon pie. Okay, okay.
Anything. That kind of sends the two of them.
I've never tried it, and right now I'm back on my diet, so I'm just doing calorie counting. So I probably won't be doing it now, but I've always been interested in wondering how it is. I see XQC. I watch XQC, and he just takes fucking mouthfuls of that powder and puts it in his mouth. That shit's so gross. This part was really well done. I honestly think this manga is really good.
Kind of sends the two of them into a massive rage, and that kind of sends the two of them into a massive rage, and they start blowing the fuck out of this thing, and they eventually kill it.
Do they kill it right here?
Blowing the fuck out of this thing.
Okay, so right there, we'll do the scroll to about halfway down. Show them blowing it up. Boom, boom.
That kind of sends the two of them into a massive rage.
Why did that look weird?
That kind of sends the two
Oh, there
of
we go.
them into a massive rage, and they start blowing the fuck out of this thing, and they eventually blowing the fuck out of this thing, and they eventually
Okay. Then we'll switch pages. Yeah, so and it's like this contest is weird because it's like a Shonen Jump contest, you know? So I feel like obviously Shonen stuff is gonna get more lean towards, but when we were discussing the other day some of our favorites of that we've read, one that we really liked was The Case of the Fallen Angel.
despite their victory.
I don't know if you saw that video that we did, but that was like a murder mystery,
out of this
and
thing
that one
and
was
then-
fantastic. It was so good.
Eventually kill it.
So I'm interested to see who the actual winners of the contest are gonna be, because
This thing,
potentially
and they
could
eventually
not
kill
be
it.
straight
Despite
shonen,
their victory,
you know.
obviously the sister died.
But most likely it's gonna be straight shonen. I mean, straight up.
The fuck out of this thing, and they eventually kill it. Despite they eventually kill.
Okay, so I'm gonna just trying to decide what we do here because we move a little fast on this part. Or
Start blowing the fuck out of this thing, and they eventually kill it. Despite their victory.
so I kind of
Despite
I kind of hate that I gotta zoom in on this one because obviously it's like a really tiny panel. Yeah, okay. So then you've seen Case of the Fallen Angel. That I thought that one was one of my favorites. I really liked personally. We've kind of talked about what our top 5 is. I personally really liked. I liked High Kings. I liked Case of the Fallen Angel. Rising Hero. I really liked. I thought this one was really good. And then I liked. There are a couple other ones I can't remember off the top of my head. But we looked at the list of all of the ones that we'd previously done and looked over all of them, and there are some really good ones that we looked at, which I hope people continue to do, like they continue on with it. Oh, Armageddon. That was one of Josh's favorites, was Armageddon. He was pining for that one really hardcore. He liked that one quite a bit.
Kill it. Despite their victory, obviously the sister died, and despair starts to set in. The sister died, and despair.
I really liked High Kings. High Kings was one that I still remember. And then we talked about it too. I don't know if we'll ever talk about it in a video, but Starlight Lost, very, very early on, was one that we didn't pick. And I can't remember what. We might have chose Armageddon instead of Starlight Lost. But I still think of Starlight Lost, and I'm like, man, that one was really good. And I was like a little upset we didn't pick it as the winner.
Fucking terrace. So this is when. So. So this is when Daedalus, which is the name of the father, he decides that this is now the time, and he gives a jet.
Sometimes we have really good weeks where all of them are bangers, and other times we have weeks where it's like, they're all just kind of okay. So sometimes you get those ones where you just pick the best of the best.
This is now the time, and he gives a jetpack of bionic wings to Icarus, which he had saved and made for their older brother Elias.
I like Thomas Cat a lot too. So that was actually in our top 10 when we were talking about. We kind of like, so I think we've done 25 videos. So we did 25, then we went through and we narrowed it down to our top 10. And then from there, we narrowed it down to our top 5, which then we'll probably figure out what 1 through 5 is. And then we want to get trophies made, but yeah, we'll see.
For their older brother Elias. Icarus, which he had saved and made for bionic wings to Icarus, which he had saved and made for their older brother Elias. He basically wants their older brother Elias.
Okay. So I'm trying to get it because Josh is going to mention this part here, but then I think he talks about the parts up top.
He basically wants Icarus to be the survivor of this. He wants him to leave. He feels bad that he wasn't able to save the mother or the daughter or Elias, but
I'm pretty good at remembering the names because I have to edit it also. So like I do the record, I read all 3 of them, and then I also have to watch it back when I'm editing it. So I kind of get like a 3 times at least read through of some of the ones that we do.
Selfish and wants him to survive despite all.
There was one that we did really early on that I forgot about, and I just ever saying I'm good with remembering the name of it. But it was one of the very first ones we did, and it was kind of like a Dungeons and Dragons-esque one where like he was a rogue and he was running around stealing something. That one I thought was very fun. I had to go back and actually look at that one and double check.
Despite all this, Icarus pretty much says or Elias, but he's being selfish and wants him to survive. Despite all of this, Icarus pretty much says, nah, I'm going to go keep my siblings' dreams, and I'm going to fly to the Sky Palace and request help from the angels.
Damn, we're flying through.
Pretty much says, nah,
Nah.
I'm going to go keep my siblings' dreams, and I'm going to fly.
Okay, so where he says fly, that's a different panel. Just go on down. Flying to the Sky Palace is how your brother was killed. I'm gonna try and
Sky Palace and request help from the angels. And even though this is a horrible idea, with statistics like heavily against him,
okay. So thank God Josh added that there, because then I can do the scroll and have it not look horrible.
Sky Palace and request help from the angels.
Nice.
And even though this is a horrible idea, with statistics like heavily against him, the Daedalus
Daedalus. Let me go to the next page. So I think he goes to right here is where Josh goes to, if I can remember correctly off of my memory. And by the way, Dad, it's not your fault. Oh, you're so nice, Icarus. Glad we got that right out of the way.
Statistics like heavily against him. The Daedalus
I'm gonna pick the
pretty
most
much
boring one, so I can remember
just
back.
says, oh, yeah, you know what? You're right. I do believe you.
So as a kid, I really liked obviously Pikachu, and then one of my favorites was Horsey, the little Horsey. I would assume you know what Horsey is. And then I really liked Ditto because I'm just that kid who likes to have all the Pokemon. Then my favorite starter was obviously Charmander because why not? But my favorite Gen 1 Pokemon is the most boring one. I like Mewtwo. I think he's cool as hell. Oh, I also really liked Alakazam. Whenever I play any Gen 1 Pokemon, I always get Abra and Kadabra and Alakazam. I love those guys.
Icarus then changes his whole attitude, and Icarus then starts to fly away and tells him that the death of all the way and tells him that the death of all the family members by like the obviously evil
He
beings.
literally
that
says
you
it's not
can't
your
really
fault,
kill,
and Josh is making
that's
this
not your
so
fault.
long.
and then flies away. We now cut to
Hey, Nidoking's a classic. I like Nidoking. I feel like all the Gen 1 designs were so like
that's not your fault.
basic and so iconic, so it's
flies
easy
away.
to remember.
Uh,
Gen 2 I got pretty good at also, but I think the last game that I played was the one that came out when I was in high school was Diamond.
we now
That's
cut
the last
to
one
a
I played.
massive chamber,
And I can't really remember
where-
any of the Pokemon from there except for the little penguin. I think was one of the starter ones, and I don't
where
even know
we
if that's
meet
right.
The Angel Prince Eo then flies away. We now cut to a map.
Okay, so then I'm gonna try and cut out Josh's here. Yeah, there we go. Got it.
And then flies away. We now
So I don't think they do they show him flying away? Oh, they do. They do.
and then
Just trying to make sure we're not staying on the same static image for too long, so it actually looks good. Because there's a lot of images we go right over, so I'm trying to show all of them.
fall, and then flies away. We now cut to a massive chamber. Now cut.
I like cutting on when people say cut. I just think it flows really well. So we now cut to Digivolve to a giant chamber.
We now cut.
I'm going to finish this last page and then I'm going to go to bed. So thanks for joining me, Air.
to a
Appreciate
massive
it.
chamber, where we've
Lead
meet
Chocolates
the
if you're there,
Angel
shout
Prince
out.
Eos and massive chamber where we meet the Angel Prince Eos. Where we meet the Angel Prince Eos and
Best boy and best. Okay, okay, I got you on this one. Best boy. Um, you know what? I'm gonna have to pass on best boy. Best girl. Okay, I like tough girls.
he speaks to
So
his father.
I want to say her name is Revi or Levy. I always get them confused because I feel like there's a mispronunciation
Icarus'
happening.
arrival
Pretty sure it's Revi from Black Lagoon.
during his
I like her. Hell yeah. Revi, Erza. All right, I like Erza a lot too.
pleas, it is explained that the angels pretty much abandoned the humans because of their greed and for having overstepped their boundaries and betraying the Angel Prince Eos.
Eos. And then best boy, my favorite anime character of all time is Vash the Stampede.
Meet the Angel Prince
He's like
Eos,
my
and he's
favorite.
speaking to his father about Icarus's about Icarus's arrival. During his pleas, it is explained that the angels pretty much abandoned the humans.
Best boy and best. Oh, best boy. Okay, okay, okay. Hold on. That's a deep memory thing. Yeah, I got you. I won't leak your age, Josh. That guy's a scumbag. Don't worry.
About Icarus's arrival.
Best boy and best girl for the whole contest. Best boy and best. Okay, in the one that we did last week, the Josh at one point mentions that the that the family's mom is banging. That's best girl. The girl who is filled out, as Josh mentioned. Best
About
boy.
Icarus's arrival. During his pleas, it is explained, and he's speaking to his father about Icarus's arrival.
I'm trying to think best boy. There were so many boys.
Icarus's arrival.
I mean, Prince Eos makes a pretty strong case for best boy. He's a pretty good guy, spoiler alert, for the manga.
Cut to a massive chamber where we meet the Angel Prince Eos, and he's speaking to his father about Icarus's arrival. During his pleas, it is explained that the angels pretty much abandoned
Worst girl for sure is Sally from the last video as well.
and for having overstepped their boundaries and betraying the angels. During his pleas, it is explained that the angels pretty much abandoned the humans because of their greed and for having overstepped their boundaries and
Their
betraying the angels.
boundaries.
Despite this,
Their freaking boundaries.
the king pretty much tells, or despite all the pleas, the king tells Eos to go pluck Icarus's wing. The king pretty much tells, or despite all the pleas.
Okay, so I think I'm just going to cut out that whole part Josh said right there and go straight to the correct way.
For having overstepped their boundaries and betraying the angels, or despite all, or just,
Or
or despite all.
Oh, good thing my thing's auto-saving. I'm not
Despite
saved at all. I'd be pissed if my Premiere just crashed right now. I'd be so mad. Let me just go ahead and Control S that as well.
Betraying the angels, despite.
He's kind of dicked me here. Let's try that.
Despite
There we go.
all the pleas. Despite all the pleas, the king tells Eos to go pluck Icarus's wings.
R.I.P. Icarus.
Eos begins to reflect on the human's tragedies. And
That's classic
he's
Josh,
witnessed
that
a
noise
lot.
right there. That's like a trademark.
The king tells Eos to go.
Okay.
Angels. Despite all the pleas, the king tells Eos to go pluck Icarus's wings.
Okay. With that, we're about halfway through Icarus Rising. So I'm going to call it there. I got to go to bed because I got to get early for work tomorrow, unfortunately. So I'll probably live stream the second half of it tomorrow because we're about at the halfway point. We got a little bit longer on Josh's because he likes to long wind on. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Leet Chocolates. Thanks, Air. Been a pleasure talking to you guys. Air, hope to see you again. Leet Chocolates, hope you don't die off the face of the planet. And for anybody watching this on the VOD, thanks for checking it out. This is how it gets edited. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comments or whatever. Have a good birthday, Leet Chocolates. If I don't see you before then, for some reason, maybe I die. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.